So now we will see how we can create the drop down options in CSS. So guys, basically we are going to create a hoverable drop down with the help of the CSS, and the drop down options should be displayed when the mouse is hovered over a button. So guys, let us check this with the help of examples in VS Code over here. So simply I'm going to remove the previous lines of code that we had written in the HTML and the CSS files over here. Now guys, as far as the drop down option is concerned, simply you can have the select tag over here, and inside the select tag you can have multiple options in this case. So let's say we have one of the option as option 1 over here. So simply we are going to say 1 in this case, and then you can copy paste this line of code, and then we can change the text to the other options over here. So we have the 2. So we have the second option as 2 and the third option as 3 over here. So guys, basically you can simply have the drop down options with the help of the HTML tag, that is the select and the option tags over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page on the browser. So as you can see, we have these drop down options over here, but guys, we are going to implement the drop down options by using the CSS in this case, instead of using the select and the option tags over here. So what we are going to do is we are going to define certain div tags over here and a button tag as well, and using the CSS file over here and certain CSS properties, we are going to display these options when we get the mouse cursor on that particular button that we are going to define. So guys, let us complete this exercise over here. So simply we are going to have, let's say, the h2 tag over here, and then we will say get your mouse cursor on below button. So guys, simply we are having this particular statement, that is get your mouse cursor on below button over here, and we are going to define the div tag in this case, which is going to have the class name as a drop down over here. So simply we are going to define the div tag followed by the dot character, and then we have the name of the class, that is drop down, and when we press enter, as you can see, a div tag with the class name, that is drop down, is getting created over here. Now guys, inside this we are going to have the button tag over here, and for this button tag we are going to say drop down as the text, and then guys, over here we are going to have the class, and the class name will be button drop down in this case. Guys, we are going to make use of these class names inside the CSS files, and that is why we are defining these classes over here, and it is one of the best practices in order to create the classes or the IDs for the different HTML elements that you create based on your requirements. Now guys, apart from this, after this button we are going to have another div tag over here, and then we are going to have the class name in this case as the drop down content. So guys, basically this is the div tag which is going to display the drop down content, that is all the options. As you can see, these are the options that will be present inside this particular div tag over here. So guys, inside this what we will do is we will have the anchor tags in this case. So we are going to have the href attribute as the hash character, and simply we are going to provide link 1 over here, and then we are going to copy paste these lines of code, and simply we are going to say link 2 and link 3. So guys, basically what we are doing is we are having 3 options over here inside the div that is defining the drop down content in this case. So guys, let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have the h2 tag over here which is having the simple statement get your mouse cursor on below button. So guys, when we get the mouse cursor on this particular button over here, all these link items that are the options should get displayed in this case. So guys, let us provide certain CSS properties to this button element first of all. So what we are going to do is we will copy the class of this button over here, and simply inside the style.css file we are going to use the dot character followed by the name of the class in this case. So guys, basically we are going to have certain background color. So let's say we have the background color over here and the text color as white. So guys, basically we have the color CSS property as white over here, and also we will have the padding of, let's say, 10 pixels in this case. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have this particular button with the background color that is green and the text color is white, and we have certain padding that we have implemented over here. Guys, there is a default border that is getting displayed over here. So what we are going to do is simply simply inside this button we are going to say border, it is equal to none, so that we can remove this border from this button. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we don't have any border right now over here. Now guys, what we are going to do is, these link items are present in one line. We want them to be on the separate lines over here, and also we want the div section, that is the drop down content, it should have certain background color. So guys, what we are going to do is, first of all we are going to style this drop down content div tag over here. So simply I am going to copy this class name, and then inside the style.css file we are going to provide the dot character followed by the class name over here, and then we are going to provide the background color in this case. So let's say we provide the gray color as the background color over here. So guys, we have the 6 times D characters in this case, which is representing a gray color shade over here. And then apart from this, we also want the width of this particular section to be limited, so we are going to provide the width as 100 pixels in this case. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have the background color as the gray color over here. But guys, apart from this, we also want these links to be present on the next line. So what we can do is, simply inside this class name, so we are going to provide dot followed by the class name, and whatever A tags are present, we are going to provide the anchor tag over here, and then inside this we are going to say display is equal to block. So guys, by default the display property is inline for this particular anchor tag, and that is why all the links are getting displayed on the same line. So we are going to provide display is equal to block, so that all of them are displayed on separate lines over here. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, all the links are now getting displayed on the separate lines. Apart from this, let us remove the underline as well from these anchor tags. So we will provide the text decoration is equal to none in this case, and also apart from this, let us provide the color of this text as black color over here. So we are going to provide the color as black and also provide the padding. So guys, over here simply we are going to provide the padding as 5 pixels. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, we have the padding, also we have removed the underline over here, and we have the text color as black color right now. Now guys, apart from this, when the user gets the cursor on these particular links, we want the background color to be updated for these links. So what we can do is, simply on the hover property of these A tag, we can change the background color. So simply I am going to copy these lines of code and paste it over here, but we are going to provide the pseudo class in this case, which is the hover pseudo class, and on this hover pseudo class we want to change the background color. So simply we are going to say background color in this case, and let's say we have the background color as aqua. So guys, basically we are going to set this particular background color when the user gets the mouse on that particular link text. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So now when we get the cursor over here on these links, that is the options, the background color of that particular option is now getting updated now. Now guys, very important thing is, when we get the mouse cursor on this drop down, then only we want this particular section to be displayed, that is having the list of options. So by default all these list of options should be hidden over here. So what we can do is, simply for this particular drop down content class, we are going to define the display is equal to none property. So over here we already have this drop down content inside our CSS file. So simply we are going to say display is equal to none this time. So guys, basically by default this particular div tag that is having the class that is drop down content will not be displayed over here. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, after defining all the CSS properties, we have set the display is equal to none property. So by default this particular section which is present over here right now, but it is not getting visible, and we want it to be visible when we get the mouse cursor on this drop down button over here. So guys, how do we make it visible? So basically we are going to set the display is equal to block property when we get the mouse cursor on this particular div tag over here. So what is the div tag in this case? So it is the div tag that is having the class equal to drop down. So simply I am going to copy this class that is drop down over here, and then inside the style.css file simply we are going to say dot followed by the name of the class that is drop down, and when we get the mouse cursor on this particular div tag, we are going to provide the hover pseudo class over here. So basically it says that whenever we are going to get the mouse mouse cursor on the div tag that is having the class drop down over here, then these particular CSS properties will be implemented. So what we want to do is we want to make the drop down content as visible. So guys, when we hover over this particular div tag, we want the drop down content, that is this particular div, to be visible over here. So we need to copy this class name that is drop down content over here, and after this hover we need to provide the space character, and the div that is with this particular class name should be displayed. So we need to provide the dot character since it is a class name, and then inside this we are going to say display it is equal to block this time. So guys, by default it was display is equal to none, but when we get the mouse cursor on this particular div tag that is having the class drop down, so on the hover pseudo class we want to get the drop down content to be displayed over here with the help of the display equal to block. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So by default there is no drop down that you can see over here, but the moment we get the mouse cursor on this drop down button over here, you can see that the drop down content is now getting displayed over here. Now guys, if you notice, when we get the mouse cursor over here as well on the right hand side, the drop down content is again getting displayed. Why so? That's because we have provided the display equal to block on the drop down class, which is the div tag over here, and as you know the div tag is the block level element. So let us right click over here and click on the inspect option. Let us see the length of the div tag over here. So as you can see, this is the div tag with the class drop down on which we have provided the hover property, and if you see, the entire width of the screen is getting highlighted over here. So guys, what we can do is simply for this particular div tag that is having the class drop down, we can have the display property as inline. So simply we are going to go inside the style.css file over here, and for this class that is the drop down over here, we are going to provide the dot character followed by the class name that is drop down, and simply we are going to say display is equal to inline. So basically it is going to take only that much width as required by the text inside this particular div tag over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So now if you see the drop down div tag, it is not taking the entire width of the screen, but it is only taking the width of the button that is present over here right now. So guys, when we get the mouse cursor over here, as you can see, we are getting the drop down content that is getting visible right now, but when we get the mouse cursor on the right hand side now, there is no drop down content that is getting displayed. So guys, only when you get the mouse cursor on this particular button, then only the drop down content that is having the list of options to be selected will be displayed over here. So guys, this is the way that you can implement the drop down options by using CSS properties. Comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to the channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. The next video that we are going to talk about is attribute selectors in CSS. So stay tuned.